A summit was held to discuss issues affecting urban American communities. Here's a discussion on the historical conditions that now affect America's cities.
Good morning. On behalf of the Wayne County Community College District, the Detroit News, and WDIV Channel 4, I welcome you to this unprecedented event to respond to the crises facing urban America. These crises, illiteracy, concentrated poverty, unemployment, segregation, incarceration, infant mortality, and many, many other significant issues that afflict urban populations cause us to be here today to move forward in the most ambitious and aggressive way. But let us realize that the devastating consequences that affect our city affect all of suburbia, rural areas, and geographies all over our nation. The greatest cost, however, is not economic, but in the loss of talent, the brilliance, and the contributing assets and potential that each life can bring to our human race. The time has come to bring these issues to the forefront of our American domestic policies to stop this costly loss of human lives. The time has come to move beyond rhetoric, to develop initiatives that will produce structural changes in government, civic, and public institutions to combat these crises. But we must also recognize that these structural interventions will only be temporary unless we effect a change in the American consciousness itself, where all people are compelled to engage these issues in order to fulfill the ideals of democracy. We saw the power of collective vision and what it does for society during the last decade, or the last century, where people united across boundaries of race, class, religion, and gender for the common good of humanity. As we embark upon the 21st century, the time is now to motivate the same spirit, commitment, dedication, and cooperation in responding to these contemporary issues. Unquestionably, these issues have motivated the brilliant minds assembled here today to develop strategies and responses and solutions that can be used as models for urban centers across the nation. Today, we are privileged to hear from world-renowned panelists who have been selected for their important work in analyzing the crises afflicting urban America, but also for their insight on how these crises may be articulated to build the strongest coalitions to generate collective action. And that's a key term, collective action. It is our mission to develop and implement policies that are pragmatic, measurable, and accountable, that will have a progressive effect across the nation. In order to do that, we must forge the broadest possible alliances with urban and suburban political, business, educational, religious, and community leaders. We must enlist all of our efforts to position these crises at the forefront of our national dialogue. Please, not just one more project. There are simply too many young people counting on us to get it right. And we're losing a generation. We've got to step forward. We have no luxury of not getting it right. I greatly appreciate all of you who are participating in this historic event. Thank you.